Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to begin by saying Barakatah, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, the great millstone that rule well. Salutations to the sincere Akiam that push this truth in all due diligence and sincerity. And hey man, we are in a time where the Lord is about to make his return upon the face of the planet Earth through those chariots, man. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Razah, we be counted worthy to be delivered. We are going to see the Lord destroy through those chariots, and we are also going to see him bring salvation. First, I'd like to go into the book of Isaiah, the 66th chapter, and the 15th verse, which reads, "For behold, the Lord Yahweh will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord Yahweh shall be many." So there's a lot in that, right? Firstly, it clearly states that the Lord is going to come with fire, man. Fire to bring judgment upon the wicked, man, of our people. And of course, Esau, Edom, and the rest of these nations. The Lord's going to use his chariots to help bring that fire, but there's going to be a mix of other things that are going to, of course, be kicking up the fire, primarily those ICBM nuclear missiles that are going to be sent from Russia with love. And the chariots are going to come like a whirlwind, because they're going to literally just, in a matter of seconds, man, start to subdue this place and come and basically overwhelm Esau, Edom, man. You know, like after a tornado hits a landmark and you see buildings tossed up to and fro, roads cracked, trees falling, everything dismayed. The chariots are going to come through and shake things up, man. And the Lord is going to use those as his vehicle of destruction to render his anger with fury. Now, verse 16 goes on to say that, "For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, shall be many," because the chariots of heaven are coming to do two things primarily: coming to destroy the wicked, coming to save the righteous. And the righteous are the elect of Israel. We've proven that inside and out on various different occasions. But what you got to know is that the Lord's chariots, man, are coming to do a job, a spectacular job. And we hope to be counted worthy to be saved by the Lord when he returns, because when he comes back, there ain't gonna be time for negotiations. There ain't gonna be no game playing. It's just gonna be straight raw maga. This is 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, verse 2. "And lo, there arose a wind from the sea that moved all the waves thereof. And I beheld, and lo," so this is Ezra seeing a vision of the Lord, right? "That man," and that man is Yahweh Shai, "waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. He had the legions of angels with him. And when he turned his countenance to look, all the things trembled that was seen under him." Everything, man, in Yahweh Shai's periphery, man, basically was shaken up. "And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire." So ultimately, what Ezra saw when he's in his vision describing the voice that went out of his mouth, he saw it like a being open his mouth and his voice caused destruction. But what that was the chariot ultimately, man, sending down that fire, man, that heavenly fire that burned everything up. And so it says, "And whensoever the voice went out of his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven, to subdue the man that came out of the sea." Because in the midst of Yahweh Shai returning, there's going to be World War III kicking off. You're going to have these different nations fighting against each other, and their fighter jets are going to be going at it. You're going to have the USA and the with their jets, and you're going to have Russia with their fighter jets, etc. And ultimately, these nations are going to try and come together in a moment to try and defeat the Lord. And this is what this scripture is going into. "And after this I beheld, and lo, there was gathered together out of out, gather together a multitude of men out of number from the four winds of the heaven to subdue the man that came out of the sea. But I beheld, and lo, he had graved himself a great mountain and flew upon it. So Yahushua had a powerful and massive chariot that he had graved himself. But I would have seen the region or the place where the hill was graven, and I could not. So he was saying basically he couldn't see the start or the end of this chariot because of how magnificent and large it was. Yeah, the fathership. And after this I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him were sore afraid, and yet thus fight. So he saw that the nations were scared to fight against Yahushua. They didn't really want the smoke, but the Lord put it in their spirit. The Lord put it in their spirit to come and fight anyway. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword nor any instrument of war. So even though he saw what, like, they were coming for violence, he didn't threat, man. Like I said, he neither lifted up his hand nor held sword nor any instrument of war. So Yahushua wasn't shaken up. But only I saw that he sent out of his mouth as it had been a blast of fire, and out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests. So basically the chariot started, shooting all sorts of destructive beams, right? And they were all mixed together, the blast of fire, the flaming breath, and the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one. So everyone that was in the path of that chariot was decimated. So that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, so what was originally a large cohort of soldiers and men and women, with their jets ready to fight, nothing was to be perceived but only dust and smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. So Ezra saw that literally what initially a couple of seconds before was a whole cohort of army men and women, literally was dust and smell of smoke. A few seconds after the chariot that Yahushua was on had unleashed this hell, man. And he was shook because he thought, damn, like he saw he saw the future prophecy of the might of Esau, Edom, and these nations' armies. He saw their jets, he saw their new technology, the miracles they were able to put in place, seeming miracles. And then he saw Yahushua just do away with them like a fly being swatted on a wall, and he was shook because he realized, damn, Yahushua is coming back in some amazing force and power. Afterwards saw I the same man come down from the mountain and call unto him another peaceable multitude, right? And this is talking about the elect. And there came much people unto him, whereof some were glad, because they done what they needed to do. So, and ultimately, man, we're longing for his return. There was some were sorry and some were bound. You're gonna have the captives of the nations, the captives of the nations also, and other some brought of them that were offered. Then was I sick through great fear, and I awakened and said. So Ezra saw that vision, the destruction, and then those that came afterwards, man, peaceably to the chariot. And he asked, "Thou hast showed thy servant these wonders from the beginning, and hast counted me worthy that thou shouldest receive my prayer." So that Ezra was shown a vision, a future prophecy, but he was shown it in visual format. Show me now yet the interpretation of this dream. For as I conceive in mine understanding, woe unto them that shall be left in those days, meaning destruction, because it's gonna be a perilous time, and much more woe to them that are not left behind. For they that were not left were in heaviness. Like ultimately, man, the time that we're coming into, the times that we're coming into are times of great sorrow, great tribulation, great judgment. And I'm telling you, man, the prophets of old saw the judgments, man, that were set to before the face of the planet Earth. And they were scared, man. Uh, Just a second. Habakkuk, the 3rd chapter, verse 2. O Yahweh, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Yahweh, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known. In wrath, remember mercy. Because Habakkuk saw the judgment that the Lord was bringing. He saw the aftermath of it, and he was so worried. He said, Lord, in wrath, remember mercy, because when those chariots come, they're going to rip through America. Yeah, in an hour, the entirety of America is going to be desolate, man. And then on top of that, they're going to also do their thing across the entirety of the earth. You gotta understand, monuments like the Eiffel Tower, the two Hester Crystal statues in South America, Washington Monument, of course, Big Ben, all these demonic symbols, man, they're gonna be taken out, man. Phallic symbols, all of them. Yahweh came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran, Salah. His glory covered the heavens, the chariots, man, and the earth was full of his praise. Everyone's going to see the Lord and have to offer it up to him. Every knee shall bow and every tongue confess. And his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hands, and there was no hiding, and there was the hiding of his power. Before him went the pestilence, and burning coals went forth at his feet. He stood and measured the earth. He beheld and drove asunder the nations. Whew! And the everlasting mountains were scattered. The perpetual hills did bow. His ways are everlasting. Basically, man, the earth basically crumbled underneath Yahweh Shai. I saw the tents of Kashan in affliction, and the curtains of the land of Midian did tremble. All the nations are going to know that they got to give it up to the Lord. Was the Lord Yahweh displeased against the rivers? They're going to have to ask, because when the Lord comes, the destruction is going to be so great, man. The earth is going to rejuvenate itself, but when he first brings that fire from those chariots, the destruction is going to be so great. Habakkuk here was asking, were you angry at nature itself? Was the Lord Yahweh displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea? That thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation. What do you think he's talking about here? Read that again. Was the Lord displeased? Was the Lord Yahweh displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea, that thou didst ride upon thine horses and thy chariots of salvation? Whew. Yeah, look, verse 10. The mountains saw thee and they trembled. The overflowing of the water passed by. The deep uttered his voice and lifted up his hands on high. Man, the sun and the moon stood still in their habitation, and the light of thine arrows they went, and at the shining of thy glittering spear. Thou didst march through the land in indignation. Thou didst thresh the heathen in anger. Damn. The chariots, man. Thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people, even for salvation with thine anointed, the elect. Thou woundest the head out of the house of the wicked by discovering the foundation unto the next Salah. So you know that what that's getting into is basically, man, the firmament, the ornaments, in the firmament, the earth itself, just basically being subdued by Yahweh Bashem Yahweh. When the Lord returns, it's going to be such a magnificent day, man. It's written all throughout the scriptures, all the way into the book of Revelations, the 1st chapter and the 7th verse. When the Lord returns with those chariots of salvation, it's going to be such a major thing, man. The second coming of the Lord Yahweh Shai, man, ordained by his father Yahweh to deliver the elect and to bring destruction upon the wicked. Man, it's going to be a day. Revelations 1, and straight to the point, man. Well, let me go from 6. And has made us kings and priests unto Yahweh and has made us kings and priests unto Yahweh Shai and his father Yahweh. To him be glory. Yes, sorry, let me read that again. And has made us kings and priests unto God and his father. So he's talking about Yahweh Shai making us kings and priests unto Yahweh. To him be glory and dominion forever and ever. Yeah. As it is in heaven, so shall it be on earth. Behold, Amen. Behold, he cometh with clouds. Every eye shall see him. Yeah, everyone's gonna witness Yahweh Shai's return when he comes. They're gonna know that a celestial power has entered into the realms of earth, and they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall will because of him. Even so, Amen. Those that pierced Yahweh Shai are gonna see him return, and they're gonna know why he's back. They're gonna understand in the spirit, man, exactly who he is and who they are in the spirit. The Lord will give them that understanding, man. It's written there in the scriptures, man. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him. Everyone's going to know. And they also which pierced him, the men that pierced him are going to know. And all kindreds of the earth shall will because of him. Even so, Amen. Everyone's going to know when Yahweh comes back, man, exactly what time it is. You better believe it, man. We are in, we are, man, in the time that Yahweh is about to make his grand return, man. The chariots of salvation are going to come and do two things, man. The chariots of the Lord are going to come. They're also the chariots of salvation for the elect, but they're the curse that goeth forth into the house of the thief, as the prophet Zechariah wrote, man. You know, in the book of Revelations, it tells you about the war in heaven, Satan and his angels, Yahweh Shai and his angels that's talking, Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai and their angels is talking about the chariots of heaven fighting against the ornaments of Esau, Edom and their armies, man. Great judgment and tribulation is on its way, man. But Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai as our Lord willing, the strangeness of our salvation pursuant to Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, will be our account. Well, for the wicked, man, even the wicked of our people, death and destruction, man. These chariots are going to bring great death. The same chariot that through which Yahweh Shai guided us in the wilderness through, the same chariot that took up Enoch and other, Elijah and other great men, man. Man, is gonna come back, man. Same angelic spiritual technology, man, that the angels travel through is what we're gonna be beamed up into Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Razal, that we're gonna be called up into the chambers for. And it's the same chariot that judged ancient Egypt, the soldiers, when the Lord sent judged the followers of Pharaoh through it. The same chariot that destroyed ancient Sodom and Gomorrah, man. Yeah, through which the Lord sent fire. That same technology is that the Lord is going to use to bring death and destruction upon this wicked kingdom, man. One of the additional elements on top of the ICBM missiles that the Lord's going to send, and also the rioting and the infighting amongst men on earth. All sorts of hell is going to be going on when Yahweh Shai returns, and those chariots, man, are going to be the crown, the crown and jewel and the judgment, man, and also the vehicle through which we'll be saved. Barakatah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rukakadash Barakatah. So Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rukakadash Barakatah. Barakatah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Thank you, Lord, for all of your mercies. And Lord willing, Yahweh Bashmi Hashai Razak, we see each other on the other side, man. Shalom.